Hey there, in this video what we're going to do is talk about grid systems and responsive web design. Okay, so when people talk about responsive, all it means is I'm going to design a site that responds to the different device that I'm using. So it might be that if I'm viewing, say this site here, my site, bringyourownlaptop.com, on a desktop, okay, it looks like this. But when it gets down to a mobile size, say something like this, you can see that site changes, okay, to best use the screen real estate or the screen size for this view, okay. You can see these guys are a big change. These go side by side, but when they're a desktop, okay, there's 4 in a row rather than 2 in a row, okay. And when it gets down to mobile, it changes even again, okay. The big change is on mobile, I've decided that that big image at the top, that smiley handsome man there, okay, disappears. He's not useful on mobile. I'm running out of screen real estate, okay. So I'm just kind of getting right to the basics and using, just these thumbnails here. Okay, so they're stacked on top of each other in one column, but tablet, it's at 2, and when it's out on desktop, it is 4. So those adjustments best use of the screen size is what's called responsive web design. So what we're doing when we're using Illustrator is that we need to design for those 3 views, okay, and so that when the website's getting built, either by yourself or by developer, they know what they need to kind of adjust the size to, or the website to look like at those different screen sizes. Now, the next thing to look at is what a grid system is, because that is the most common way of breaking this site up. Is what happens is there's an underlying 12-column grid that runs along all the web pages, and that's how you divide the content up. Okay, so what happens is it's very similar if you're in kind of print or magazine design. A 12-column grid on a newspaper gets used to kind of help you get consistency across many pages. It's the same here in web design. The easiest way to see it is in our final version. So this is our final design. Okay, there's the desktop version, tablet version, and mobile. And what ends up happening is, watch this, if I turn on the grids that I've got, okay, you can see I've divided the desktop by even, making sure I keep in mind this 12 columns. I wouldn't have it halfway through here or halfway through this column. They all span to equal 12. So this guy here is 4 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, all add up to 12. I hope my math is bad. Okay, but it means that this guy at the top here, this line, is actually spanning all 12, and that's fine. Okay, these guys up here need to be adjusted a little bit. Okay, my design, they are spanning, okay, these 2 columns here. I need to line them up a little better. And this guy here, he kind of spans the whole thing because there's nothing over here. So let's look at what we've done and redesigned for the tablet. Now what we do is I could put 12 columns in here, but you can imagine if I compress 12 of these columns down to here, even though they're technically all there, it becomes a little harder to design with like hundreds of lines across. It gets even worse when it gets down to mobile. So you can see what I've done, and what you'll do as a designer is I don't need all 12. That kind of like finite adjustment is too much for me. You might like it and you can keep your 12 columns. I've just put 6 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've divided them up evenly. Okay, so there's this one spans 3, that one spans 3. So, it's still divisible by 12. You can see this spans like half of it, which would be 6, and that would be 6. So we're still using the 12-column grid, okay, but just visually, it's too hard to see so many of them. And what we've decided here is, I'm going to turn the guides off, is that's the way I want it to look like when it's on a tablet device. And when it gets down to mobile, I want to change it again, okay? So we've changed it quite a bit in this one. The navigation's changed, okay, down here. And we've used pretty much the whole way down, we've used the complete width, okay, which is the whole 12 columns. I'm gonna turn the guides back on. When I'm working from mobile, often I just deal with 2 columns. Okay, so that's 6 on that side, 6 on that side. And I just use 2 just to make it a little easier. You can put all 12 there, but it becomes a real headache to line things up. Okay, so that is the grid system, and that's how web designers on the other side divide your content up. You can't do 13 because it's really hard to divide up the middle, okay, because it's an odd number. So even numbers, most of the time it is 12 columns. So let's, in the next video, look at how to make these columns so you can design to them.